All right, it's November 7th, so you know what that means. Tomorrow we will elect a new president. Plus, there's also seats in the Senate and Congress up for grabs, so make sure you get out there and vote. Here are a few tips from the Lee County Elections Office before you cast that ballot. First, make sure to vote in your assigned precinct. You can find out your precinct online at their website. Also, be prepared and bring your identification. This means a photo ID. And do your research ahead of time so you already know who you're voting for when you get into that booth. It saves time for everybody. All right, there are certainly some of us suffering from election fatigue. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, most would agree that this election has the makings of a movie. So with that in mind, let's take a look at some of the best political flicks. Up first, All the President's Men. The movie starring Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman won 4 Academy Awards. Released in 1976, it's all about Washington Post journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein's uncovering of the Watergate scandal. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. The number that Redford dials in the movie to call the White House is the actual White House switchboard. Up next, an oldie but goodie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. James Stewart is a naive man appointed to the U.S. Senate. Again and again, his morality is tested, but he doesn't back down. The 1939 movie took home an Oscar for Best Writing. On a lighter note, The American President. Michael Douglas is a widowed sitting president who begins a relationship with a lobbyist. Annette Bening and Martin Sheen co-star in the 1995 movie. Here's a clip from when Bening and Douglas meet in the first time in the Oval Office.
Sidney, this bill is important to me.
Yes, sir. I'll convey your message.
But you don't believe me.
The GDC is asking for 20%, sir.
It's not going to pass at 20%. It's a long shot at 10.
How do you know that until you put the full weight of the White House behind it?
Sidney, at 20%, we're 34 votes shy in the House. It can't be done. But I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. If you can get 24 votes, I'll get you the last 10.
24 votes?
If you can swing 24 votes by the State of the Union, I will promise you full White House support.
Do I have your word on that, sir?
Absolutely. Listen, are you hungry? I skipped breakfast. You want to have a donut, coffee or something?
Coffee and donut date, I like it. All right, Aaron Sorkin wrote the movie and went on to write a little series all about the White House. Maybe you've heard of it, The West Wing, of course. All right, now onto a current movie that has some very political overtones, Loving. It's the story of an interracial couple who was sentenced to prison just for getting married. Have a look.
What you think? Like it? I'm gonna build you a house right here. Our house. Would you marry me?
Richard and Mildred Loving were 2 people that loved each other, and they didn't understand why the rest of the world couldn't see it.
I want to take Mildred up to D.C. to get married. Are you sure about that?
He was white and she was black, and our government told them that they could not love each other.
Richard and Mildred basically fell into a hot situation because they happened to just have a pure love for each other.
Can you imagine that? They came up against many obstacles.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
In here?
Richard!
What you doing in bed with that woman?
I'm his wife.
That's no good here.
Sheriff Brooks represents what people thought. That was the law and the status quo.
Richard Perry Loving, being a white person, and Mildred Jeter, being a colored person, did unlawfully cohabitate as man and wife.
Richard?
That ain't right!
Mildred was kept in jail over 3 days over a weekend when she was super pregnant.
Both the accused leave Caroline County in the state of Virginia at once.
When they were forced to move to D.C., I think that was a very painful shift in her life.
Hello, Mrs. Loving. My name is Bernard Cohen, the American Civil Liberties Union. Would like to help you.
Now they were fighting for ending the idea of being able to ban interracial marriage.
I believe this is a court battle that could go all the way to the Supreme Court.
There's no guarantee we can get them out if they get arrested again.
They risk the lives of their children, their family, themselves.
We're moving back to the country. I don't care what they do to us.
They open the doors for so many other people to love who they love.
It wasn't about a civil rights movement. It was about just two people loving each other and willing to do whatever it takes to be together.
I can take care of you.
I know that.
I love this story. It's certainly become far more known in the past few years in the more recent Supreme Court case around marriage equality.
Anytime that we can be reminded of the elegance and the simple beauty of love, it's a good thing.
You realize this case could alter the Constitution of the United States.
You think you'll lose?
We may lose the small battles, but win the big war.
Is there anything you'd like me to say to the Supreme Court Justices of the United States?
Yeah. Tell the judge I love my wife.
I love when she said, you love who you love. And there's lots of love going around over the holidays. Maybe you've started jotting down your holiday shopping list. You've got ideas for the bookworm, the tech geek, but what about the carb lover in your life? Oh yeah, I said carbs. We've got some fun gift ideas you gotta see. Stick around.